Hi, everybody. Welcome back to Zesty Thoughts. Welcome to episode 49. We're almost at 50 episodes, y'all. I'm so excited. I haven't recorded for 2 weeks. I have a lot of updates. I went to PR. I went camping in Ojai, and I've had an interesting day. So I'm just going to dive right in. A new baddie with endometriosis has entered the chat, y'all. I literally just found out today that I have endometriosis. I mean, I kind of had a feeling. I have a history of ovarian cysts, crazy periods. But yeah, long story short, it's like pretty much confirmed. I was supposed to maybe have surgery. They're going to hold off on that. So I'll keep you guys updated on that. But it is what it is. So if anybody out there with endometriosis has any tips, I am going to be starting on the pill as a mitigation. But if anybody out there has any tips or tricks to help in addition to that, let me know, because this is all new to me. And yeah, it's always the baddies that have like PCOS, endometriosis, autoimmune disease. It is always the baddies, that's for sure. So welcome me in to the club, y'all. I have had the most amazing 2 weeks ever, and I have been itching to record since I got home. I'm finally officially kind of settled in. It is July 2nd today. I've been home from PR since Thursday. I got home Wednesday night. But then I worked 2 days and immediately went camping for 2 nights. So I've been just busy, things back to back to back. So I have a lot of things to chat about regarding my trip in PR. So I went to Puerto Rico, for those of you that didn't know, for my best friend's birthday trip. My best friend Rocky, her grandma's from there, her family's from there basically, and they have a house there. So we had such an amazing birthday trip for her. We hit up all the best beaches. We went clubbing. We went and ate amazing food and did some tours, went to the rainforest. So I just have some thirst basically from the last 2 weeks of my favorite places we went, kind of brief story times about each of those places. And then, yeah, I'm going to dive right into my Ojai trip. So first on my list of my favorite places, this is in no particular order, my favorite things or my favorite parts of the trip. Arepas de camarones. You guys, I don't think you have any idea what we're dealing with right now. If you've never been to Puerto Rico, or you've never had authentically made Puerto Rican food, I'm going to put a picture up here of what we had specifically at this place called Carlos Seafood, which is in Fajardo. And when I tell you, this shrimp is cooked perfectly, not, sometimes shrimp gets kind of chewy. It was not chewy, literally cooked to perfection. And the flaky, I don't know how to describe it. It's kind of like a bread, but it's not, it's a flour kind of pocket. But bro, either way, whatever it is, it's fire. That was probably one of my favorite meals our entire trip. I'm kind of going out of chronological order as far as the trip goes and my recap. But on Rocky's birthday, this was her one request. She was we have to go to Carlos Seafood. This is my favorite place on the island to eat. So we went. So we got these fat fresa y coco mojitos, strawberry and coconut mojitos. Oh my God. I had so many mojitos. I had enough mojitos for a year in 1 week, y'all. They were just delicious. Everywhere we went, even just a basic mojitos. It was so amazing, honestly, how normalized mojitos are on the island, because I've always been a mojito girl. Mojitos one of the first mixed drinks when I was younger, just turning 21, that I actually enjoyed. But I don't know what it is about bartenders in the US. They don't like making them. It's just not a thing. They complain about it. I've seen TikToks of people complaining when you're, locked in during service and then someone orders a mojito and you crash out, because I guess you have to muddle, get mint and muddle everything. And it's just more time consuming, I guess. I mean, there's a lot of drinks like that. It's just the same thing, doing a blended drink in the middle of a busy service. It's really so I get it, but that I think is one of my favorite parts of VR was that like mojitos are just like a normal drink because like rum is the drink of choice on the island. And yeah, you could literally get a mojito everywhere. And they were like whipping those babies out so quick. So I was in heaven. We had fat mojitos, arepas, like, oh my God, just the best food ever. Tostones, maduros. Oh, so good. So that meal was like a 10 out of 10, like beyond a 10 out of 10. And I guess I'm starting with that because that's probably like my favorite meal that we had. There was like other good food, obviously, but that has to be like my number one for sure. I see why Rocky wanted to pick that. Yeah, Carlos Seafood was a 10 out of 10. Another great meal. Our last night, we went into Old San Juan and we ate at Raíces, and I got mofongo with red snapper, like garlic red snapper and mofongo. It was so freaking good, and it was giant and came in this like huge pilon, which is like a mortar and pestle, but it's like big. It's kind of like deep, like a coffee mug. Like it's like thick and deep, and there's like a giant, like a wooden muddler basically. But it's served in that, and then they put like a Tupperware like inside and fill it with mofongo, which is plantains and like garlic and sofrito and all this stuff, and then all of this garlic red snapper that was like actually so good. Like I can't even describe that meal. I ate like, it was so much food. I could only eat like half of it at the dinner table. And then when we went back to the house, like later that night, I was like, we're leaving tomorrow. I need to eat the rest of this because I can't leave it behind. I literally need the other half. Like my soul craves the other half. I'm also going to post a picture here of that meal because, dude, so unreal. Those are my two favorite meals of the whole trip. 10 out of 10. The food is crazy. Next up, some of my favorite places. So as far as beaches go, I think it was a pretty clear consensus between all of us that Loquillo Beach was like our fave. Vibes are really nice. It wasn't like too busy. Honestly, the entire trip, we got really lucky just in general with doing things. Nothing was too like overcrowded except for when we went out at night and like went dancing, and then it was like popping. But all the beaches we went to were actually pretty tame for summer, probably just because it's the beginning of summer. But we got really lucky. There was a lot of space for us to just like enjoy and swim. And they have really good food there also. They have like little like stands that sell like traditional Puerto Rican food. So Loquillo is beautiful, amazing. It's nice also for people that like just kind of want to vibe in the water. There aren't really like waves. It's like a slight current, but it's like barely moving at all. So it's safe for kids, it's like really a fun spot. Anyway, so that was my favorite beach, which is also Rocky's favorite beach. And I'm like, girl, I see why all your favorites are your favorites because you got good taste. My favorite outdoor adventure on the island other than the beach was going on a tour in the rainforest. So Rocky, Raven, and I went on like a guided like bus tour into El Yunque, which is like the rainforest on the island, like the main one. I think it's like the whole thing, or maybe that's just a part of it. I actually don't know. But yeah, so we took a bus into like the entrance kind of the rainforest. So to preface, in the description of this tour online, like it had a lot of good like reviews and stuff, but the description said like shoes will get like wet and muddy, just like as a precursor. But then it said water shoes not recommended, which I was like, oh, if we're gonna be like in like water. And then there was like a waterfall. After the end of your hike, basically you end at a waterfall and like a natural swimming hole, and there's like a rope swing and like a natural slide and like the rocks and stuff. So that was like the peak of the tour. But it said that in the description, and we were like, wait, but if there's like water, like why would you want water shoes? When I was packing for the trip, I was considering bringing my Chacos. I have like a pair of just black basic, like high tread Chacos that I actually brought with me to Ojai. And it's like the perfect shoe for hiking and water activities because it's really good tread on the bottom. So you literally can hike in them, like in the dirt, on rocks, everything. You just have to like be mindful and be careful because they are like open toed. But but they are really built for that terrain. And then obviously you can wear them like in the water and not worry about like stepping on rocks or sticks or other things like that and like having to be barefoot. So in retrospect, while I was packing for PR, I was like, maybe I'll bring those sandals like just in case, but I didn't. So all I had were like my pair of rainbows, 2 pairs of sandals, just like regular sandals, and my New Balances. I have white New Balances, okay? Rocky also had a white pair of like brand new, like basically nursing shoes with her. They're super cute, but like both of us had white shoes. And before the tour, we were like, should we like go get like crappy sneakers at the store and just wear those so we don't like ruin our shoes? We were like, nah, it'll be fine. Like we can just wash them after, bro. We were literally, I will post videos here. We literally were walking like calf deep in water at some points. There was a lot of mud that was just like unavoidable. Most of it, like a lot of it you could walk around, but there was a good amount that was unavoidable. And I mean, it was great to have sneakers on, obviously, because you're not worried about like your toes and things like that. But it was like, okay, definitely don't wear white sneakers. Like, note to self. If anybody else goes on like a tour in LUK or you go to like the waterfall, do not wear white sneakers. Because like, you know, we washed them and stuff after. Like Dawn Power Wash came through for sure. But yeah, so that was a really, really fun adventure. We started the hike basically from the parking lot. A lot of it was like raw, like walking on rocks through water, walking, like hiking through rocks and on top of like, there was like one staircase, but it was super sketch. So like, luckily, like there's a lot of like trees overhead. So as you're climbing, you're like holding on to tree branches and rocks and stuff to like safely get from like place to place. It's like borderline like rock climbing at some points. And then we finally got to the waterfall and it was beautiful. It was a little bit crowded at that actual spot. Like once we got there were like other tour groups there, but not so crowded that like you couldn't enjoy your time. You know, everyone was vibing, laughing, chilling. There were actually some locals there like picnicking, like chilling. They had like ice chests with some drinks and like food, someone with like a whole ass cake, probably for someone's birthday. And yeah, it was so much fun. Rocky and I were wearing bikinis. We were not really trying to go down the natural rock water slide in like a thong bikini bottom. So we did not partake in that. We just like chilled out, Rocky and I, on these like rocks, and we were just like mermaids basically, just like vibing on rocks, like while like the river just like flowed down, and like it was so relaxing and so peaceful, and it was so fun. We like made some friends, like this group of people from Philly, I think. But yeah, we had the best time ever. It was like a really good workout, a really fun time in the outdoors, and that spot was just so beautiful. So highly recommend. I will put some videos and stuff here so y'all can see that. Okay, next highlight in our itinerary was the clubbing and nightlife. I am kind of on the fence just as a person as I get older with like going out and dancing and clubbing and stuff. I really like it in doses. Like I love shaking ass. I love having fun, having a drinky poo, and just dancing my heart out with some friends, but like in doses, you feel me? But low-key, I was really, really, really looking forward to going out and dancing in PR. I'd heard so many great things like online leading up to the trip. I like didn't really do a ton of research going into it because one, it was for my best friend's birthday. So I was like, we're going to do what she wants to do and we're just going to roll with it. But I also like wanted to just go with the punches because I knew I was going to be with people that have already been there that probably had decent recommendations on like things to do and places to go. So we actually got some really great recommendations on where exactly to go out. And I guess Raven had done some research also. And a lot of people were like, go out on a Thursday night because it's not as crazy as the weekends, but like people still are like out and rolling deep and like going hard. even just for a Thursday. So we were like, okay, well, let's try that. Maybe it won't be like as overwhelming and it'll still be fun. We got a recommendation from someone to go out in Santurce. So this is like one area called La Placita de Santurce. And so we went there. I don't really know how to compare this place to anything else because it's like the streets are not closed off, but there's like a lot of like bars and clubs, like indoor bars and clubs. But then outside of those clubs, there are like pop-up like bars outside that have like giant speakers playing music. And like there was like this whole street that was just taken over that had maybe like 8 of those pop-ups. Each of the pop-ups was like its own separate bar with its separate speaker playing separate music. And so people were just like walking around getting drinks, and like that whole street, I'll post a video here, was just packed with people, and everyone's just like dancing in front of like the bars outside. And I was like, oh my gosh, if this is what it's like outdoors, I cannot wait to step foot inside the bar. So when we first got there Thursday night, we were kind of walking around and we saw that street and we were like, we're gonna get a drink, we're gonna chill and dance here. And we did, and we had like the funnest time. And then we went inside a few clubs and we like vibed and danced. But yeah, I had a fair warning that it was gonna be hot and humid. I was already like mentally preparing myself. I had my neck fan, I had 2 hand fans. I was like, I'm ready for the heat. And actually we got really lucky. It was only like the 80s most of the time we were there. I don't even think it broke 90 any single day. So like that's lucky apparently for summer. So we had a blast, but girl, it was hot at night, like still hot at night. So I wore my cute little mini skirt and like a little bathing suit top and cover up, and it looked cute and like low key. And I had my hand fan. We're just like vibing in the club, like chilling, dancing. But it was like Thursday was the perfect night to go out. It was crowded enough that you still felt like shit was happening, like you were in it, but it wasn't so crazy. Like Saturday, we went out Saturday again. That was a lot. Someone Thursday, I guess, mentioned to us that Saturday they were going to be doing Pride, and we were like, period, we're there. Like, so we ended up going back out in that same area on Saturday night, and it was crazy. The crowd was very different. I mean, not just because of Pride, like it was just way more people, way more of a sausage fest, if you feel me. And just very different energy. Although it was very fun, it did kind of remind me more of like going out in LA, like the vibes. Sometimes the vibes in LA are really like not, they're just like not welcoming, and like it doesn't feel like safe, if that makes sense. I guess just like being a woman, you feel me? There are really like creepy like guys just like on the prowl, basically. You catch my drift, obviously. And so there's a little bit more of that on Saturday. Thursday was perfect because like I feel like we did not catch that vibe at all. Saturday we got woke. We stopped in like a corner store and got some like mini Don Q rums to throw in our bags, and just got some Cokes and like mixed them so that we could like drink on a budget and like go crazy, you feel me? We got our Cokes and we had like one round with our little Don Q minis, and then we went into this first club, and it like looked perfect because it like wasn't, there were people inside, but you could see there was kind of like a room still. It's not like everyone was shoulder to shoulder like packed like sardines on the dance floor. That's like never fun. All right, we're gonna dance, we're gonna chill, get started here, and then hop on over to a bunch of other places. Immediately had a group of men, after all 3 of us, looking at our hands like, and we were like, oh no, we like girls. We're like, sorry, no, like anything but that right now. Like Rocky and I have significant others, so we were like really like, stay away, like literally be gone, like literally fuck right off. But yeah, we still had a really good time. We just like danced and vibed. So 10 out of 10, I would highly recommend going out in Santurce. It was like the place to be. I'd say start with Thursday, do a little pre-game on Thursday night, little warm up into the weekend, and then if you're really trying to have some fun, go out on Saturday, girl. My personal favorite spot, and I'm not saying this because I'm Irish and I'm biased, but there was an Irish pub, and I'm saying that like in quotations because like other than the decor, there was nothing about it that was like actually Irish. To be honest, they just like had like clovers and like the logo. I think it was called like De Ayapaque. I think it was called De Ayapaque, but like the logo had a clover and then it said Irish pub. Like, sick, period. Like I love like traveling internationally and like finding Irish pubs because like so far the last few places I've been, when I went to Bahrain, they have like a whole Irish village. Like what? And then I was in PR and I was like, period, there's an Irish pub, like let's go in there. And it was just a club. Like it was like nothing, it was just like Irish decor inside, but it was so cute and the DJs were good both nights. People were just dancing, shaking ass, like having fun. And that I think was my favorite place. Not just because I'm biased and it was Irish. Above the doors, like the double front doors, they had 4 air conditioning units. 4, okay? And then along the other wall, they had 3. So not only because I'm Irish, but like also because they literally had 7 air conditioners going. It was literally the only club that we went into that didn't become more hot and humid as you entered. That was our favorite spot both nights because it was just like the perfect refreshing spot to like dance and not sweat and die. But yeah, all in all, we had the best time. I really want to go back and like explore other sides of the island, try new food, and just like take a look at some new beaches, you know? Yeah, all in all, it was such an amazing trip and I literally cannot wait to go back. I came back Wednesday night and my flight was delayed to shit. My initial flight out of San Juan was supposed to be at like 1:40, got delayed by an hour, which was no biggie because the plane that I was flying on from San Juan to JFK, which is also like, bruh, to go from San Juan to JFK to LA, like that's like so annoying. I wish that they had like direct flights, but it is what it is. But the flight from San Juan to JFK, it was the same plane. Literally, like it was like the exact same plane. I literally had to get off of it and then get back on it to go from JFK to LA. So luckily, like it's not like the delay like made me miss any flights because like then it also delayed my second flight. So I got to JFK. I don't remember what time it was, but then we boarded the plane like an hour and a half after like the initial time that they said. We were on the plane, doors closed, started a taxi, and then the pilot made an announcement. Just so everyone knows, we're 40th in line to take off. 40th? We were like, bro, what? From the time that they closed the doors of the plane to the time that we actually took off and left the ground, it was an hour and 45 minutes. And honestly, it was lame because when we first got in the plane, before we even closed the doors and like started taxiing, the pilot made an announcement about like the length of the flight. And I think initially on the tickets, it said it was going to be 6.5 hours. And then the pilot made an announcement that it was only going to be like 5 hours. And we were like, period, that's much better. Like 5 hours, 15 minutes, something like that. And the 3 of us were like, that's fantastic. Like, great. Hopefully I'll get home sooner than I was planning on it, you know? And then we were 40th in line. And then we had to wait an hour and 45 minutes. So it was like, just kidding. The flight is going to be shorter, but also like now you have to sit in the plane for the same time that you would have had to if the flight was long. So I was a little bit uncomfortable on that last flight. I probably should have like had some chamomile sleepy time tea or something to like chill me out. But I was very antsy. I do tend to get very antsy and like jittery, and like I get like I need to get up a lot on planes, which is why I always do the aisle seat. I know that ultimately I'd probably have a better chance of sleeping well on a plane if I was in the window seat, but I know myself, like I get really fidgety and I have to get up. Like if I need to get up, I have to get up. I can't resist. So the aisle seat just makes more sense to me. And then like if no one's coming, I can like stretch my foot out. You feel me? But yeah, then I got home at like midnight. I was So that was a really, really long travel day. Then I worked for 2 days. And then Saturday morning, my friend Kendall and I drove to Ojai to go camping. We went tent camping and we had so much fun. It was like very, very, very relaxing weekend. We stayed at Denison Campground, which is maybe like, from what I remember, like 10-15 minute drive into Ojai from our campground. And it was really cute. The camp host was great. Like the campground itself was really nice. Bathroom was really clean. So I'd recommend that. Denison, I'll put the name here so you guys can check it out. I'd highly recommend that campsite. It is like a mixed campground, like RVs and tent camping. They had fire rings, non-potable water. That was both of our first times ever visiting the Ojai Valley, and we enjoyed every second of it. We came in Saturday, like midday, we set up camp. We just chilled. We made dinner. We like journaled and read and just like vibed in the shade because it was so hot. Kendall had brought a tarp, and then like I thought I had like a full beach umbrella, but we couldn't find it in the garage. So we had these like detachable, like single person umbrellas that like go onto like and attach to like a beach chair that are like super adjustable. So I had 2 of those. So I was like, well, I guess we'll just do that. If we can't figure out a situation with the tarp, we're gonna need shade because it was like 90 degrees. It was super, super, super hot. If we did not have those 2 detachable umbrellas for the chairs, I'm convinced we would have melted because it was so hot. And on the website to book, I will give a heads up, it does list a brief description, and then it does say if your actual site is shade, no shade, or partial shade. So the spot that we picked was spot 8, and it did say partial shade online, and it did not provide it. It provided like of the whole spot as a whole, maybe like 10% of it had shade. Only for like morning and night. You feel me? Like only until like 8 a.m. in the morning, and then like once the sun went down, basically. So it like basically was no shade at all, basically. So yeah, if we had not had those umbrellas, we literally would have died. So we were just chilling on our chairs, like vibing. We played some games. So our first night was really nice and magical and like peaceful. We like walked around the campsite and saw the sunset. The views there, I will say, take the cake. Like that was the best part about that specific campsite, and that's why I would say like all in all I would highly recommend it, because the views were just insane. I will post pictures here. We had a really great view of like surrounding fields, and you could almost walk through the entire campground and be able to get like views in every single direction of the surrounding valley and mountains. It was so pretty. So that was great. Then on Sunday, we were going to make oats in the morning. Kendall had this like little mini burner, like single burner with a little pot. We are going to like make our little oats for breakfast, but it did run out of fuel. So we ended up just going into town for breakfast, and it literally worked out perfectly. We were planning on going and exploring the downtown area anyway. So it was great. It worked out. We were going to step into this one restaurant that was like really busy, and we were like, wow, it looks really good. We've heard good things about it. It must be good if it's this packed, you know? And the hostess were like a little like, I don't know. They were kind of busy, overworked, kind of being a little lazy with us, not communicating very well. So we like thought we were sitting in like a dine-in area, but then they're like, no, you still have to like order at the counter, and there was like really long lines. We were like, never mind, we're gonna dip. So it worked perfectly, because then from there we went to this like adorable diner. Oh my god, we both got eggs Benedict. I got like a veggie Benedict with hash browns, and that food was so delectable. So it was literally meant to be. It was literally like written in the stars that we didn't go to that first place, because the food at the diner was so good. Our server was an angel. And yeah, so we went there. So after we had breakfast, we walked around the downtown area and kind of did some like window shopping. That same day, they were hosting a Pride event in the community park and a Pride walk. So we went to check out like some of the stands and stuff. And then we went into this honey store called Heavenly Honey Company. We saw a sign on the door that said honey tasting for $8. And we were like, we're going to do that. So we went inside. We did some honey tasting. I got 3 honeys. One's meadow foam, and that one tasted like marshmallows. One is like an infused creamed honey with like an organic lemon oil. And y'all know me, zesty girl, like I will eat up anything lemon. So I had to cop that. And then the third one that I got was a blackberry honey. It was really delicious, just like the smallest, like little like of blackberry. Those were like the 3 that I enjoyed the most. We probably tried like 15 different honeys, and honestly, they were all amazing. So I will definitely be ordering more. I will link their website below because the shop clerk, I don't know if she's the owner also. I feel bad that I don't know that, but she was so sweet and provided us a lot of good information and recommendations of stuff in the area because we were looking for swimming holes. And she had so much knowledge about honey and like California rain patterns and all this like really intriguing stuff that we got to learn. I was like, oh, a little educational thing. So shout out to her. While we were in town, we went into this little thrift store, and I just have to show you guys. Outside, they had a $5 rack. Okay, so let me show you what I got from the $5 rack. I saw this on the rack and I was like, I'm sorry, I can't not. So look at this dress. I was like, okay, wait, Dorothy. It's giving Dorothy, okay? Cute little collar. Look at the bottom. She's so cute. She's so cute. And it's like a baby doll like style cut. So it's like super cute. Then we went inside the store to like peek around at other stuff. And Kendall eyed something. And we were like, wait, does that go with the dress? It goes with the dress. For some reason, the apron, the apron had been separated. I was like, well, who would I be if I separated these 2 beauties forever, like permanently? What kind of person would that make me? So of course I had to buy both of them. But yeah, so now I feel like I just have my little house on the prairie, like little trad wife moment. And now I need an excuse to wear this. I would totally rock the dress at any point, but the apron on the other hand is like, even Kendall was like, yeah, it's giving like theater costume. I was like, period. It's literally giving Oklahoma. So I need a reason to wear this. If anybody wants to like go frolicking in a meadow or like cook a meal or have a tea party or just something like so like dainty and demure and like if anybody wants to have anything like that and hang with me and we could just have like a cute little moment, let me know. I am begging for a reason to wear that set together. Okay, on to the final topic of today's episode. While we were in Ojai, Kendall, this is like the highlight of my Ojai weekend. Puerto Rico was its own magical moment. Ojai was its own magical moment. This was the peak of my Ojai experience. Kendall had done some research and she was like, there's hot springs, there's natural swimming holes off of the Ventura River. So we were like, we have to hit one of those up. It was really, really hot on Sunday again. It was like 90 degrees, 91. We were like, well, we don't want to hike to it. So we have to do some research and see if we can find the closest parking lot and just have like the shortest walk possible to the river and find the swimming hole. Okay. So we got recommendations from our camp host and from the woman at the Heavenly Honey Company. Okay. Turns out neither of those recommendations were conducive to no hiking, unfortunately. So we did go to this one spot and we parked. We did end up having to hike 1.25 miles in 90-degree weather, which was more than we anticipated, but we pushed on through and both of us were like, starting to like see the mirage and like go a little crazy, like, okay, where's the river? Where's the swimming hole? There better be water at the end of this trail. You know, we were like starting to crash out a little bit because it was so freaking hot. And then we run across this like local with his dog. And we're like, the swimming hole is this way, right? Like, we just want to make sure because we're like parched and we need to swim. Like, literally now it's so hot. And he was like, oh, yeah. Like, it's this direction. If you go that way, da, 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 da. So he was so kind to help us with directions. We found it. We finally arrived at the swimming hole. I'm going to post like a little video footage here because, oh my God, you guys, this was the most magical experience. I've never done anything like this. I've always been a beach person. I've had a lot of like water activities with beaches and marinas and things like that. But I have not ever really been like a lake girly. I've just like not had those experiences. When I tell you that this was like one of the coolest things I've ever done, one of the coolest like outdoor activities I've ever done, we went swimming in the swimming hole and we literally were there for like 3 hours. There were groups of people, friends, you know, like groups of like tourists, locals that came and swam and like chilled and had picnics. Half of the people that showed up had dogs with them, and it was so freaking cute because the dogs were like swimming in the water and chasing dragonflies and like trying to get sticks in the water, and like there were little tadpoles and like all these beautiful birds, and like it was just such a beautiful experience. I'm going to post a bunch of videos and pictures here while I'm gabbing about it because, oh my gosh, I cannot praise it enough. That experience was a 10 out of 10. So if anybody's interested, I will post the actual like Google Maps or Maps like pin to the exact location of where we went because it was kind of hard to find, but I do have all the information now. So I will definitely put that in the description of today's episode so y'all can take your own magical trip to Ojai and experience like the same thing that we did. It was just so freaking cool. Yeah, then we went back to camp. We played some games. We played Uno. We made loaded baked potatoes in the coals of the fire. And it was just like the coolest thing ever. We had such a nice weekend. And for those of you that live in LA, it's like a super close, spot to like really feel like you're in another place. I mean, you definitely get some of the same California vibes you get here in LA, but overall, it still feels like different enough that it's like a perfect getaway for the weekend. So I'd highly recommend it. If you've never been, go. I definitely, like both of us definitely plan on going back so we can explore and like see other things. I will say, I guess I'd probably recommend it in not so hot of weather, like go when it's a little bit cooler, just wait till the fall or something, or go when it's like not so hot of a summer weekend, you feel me? But all in all, it was amazing. I just feel so refreshed. I'm also like lucky enough that now I have a few days off from work for our like 4th of July summer break. So I'm just gonna like rest, unpack, do like a fuck ton of laundry and just like reset, do some cleaning. I was inspired. Rocky was like, I rearranged my room, da 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 da, and I was like, wait, I might copy her and also rearrange my room. So this setup might change in next week's episode, to be continued. But yeah, so I'm very refreshed. I am going to be working on my song tomorrow. I'm literally going to lock myself in the house tomorrow and track backgrounds and demo vocals and stuff because it's time. The song is going to be out soon. Yeah, I'm very excited. I have to work on promo and schedule photo shoots and like all that fun stuff. So be on the lookout for that. Please follow on Instagram at Zesty Thoughts Pod, and my personal IG is at Annábla now. I also post pod stuff and personal stuff like music stuff on TikTok at annábla.now. And then subscribe on YouTube if you're watching on YouTube, and follow on your preferred podcast platform. Please like, favorite, download all these apps if you're enjoying them. Thank you for coming along for the ride and letting me rant and just like brag about the most amazing vacation experiences that I've had in like the last 2 weeks. I feel so refreshed, and it's July, y'all. y'all. It's my birthday month. My birthday is July 30th. So Leo season is almost here. I'm so excited for that. But yeah, thanks for coming along for the ride, y'all. I'm excited for the next episode. It's episode 50 next. Period. What a milestone. So I'm super excited for that. Anyway, y'all, I'm gonna wrap up today's episode. On to the next. I'm gonna go get some din with my fam. I hope everyone has a wonderful 4th of July. Please be safe. Don't drink and drive. Take a Lyft or an Uber or a Waymo or public transportation. Please take advantage of it. Don't do anything dumb with fireworks. If you have a fur baby, stay home and like comfort them and take care of them. Anyway, y'all, hi. Hope you have the most amazing 4th of July. Be safe, have fun, and have a great weekend. And I'll see you next week. Bye.